Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Sisters and brothers. This is a critique, a short critique about the book of Daniel and that goat. Need to understand what's going on with that. So I'm going to try to explain in a little more detail here. There's a goat in Daniel. This goat is coming from the west, heading east. Its feet not touching land. Now that goat, that means it's coming across the ocean, specifically the Pacific Ocean. And it comes after this ram. Now, the goat has one horn between his eyes, but the ram has two horns, and this coming from the east, moving westward. So, those of you that study the angel should understand this. So I'm going to make it. Those of you who have not, then you can study and look at it and try to see if you make sense of it. So it's not using angel key here. Right, we're just talking Daniel. Daniel's very subtle. So we explained that the goat represents the leopard. The leopard represents the 8 toes of the statue, and the eagle represents the two toes of the statue. Right? That statue, the toes were supposed to be the last kingdom. So we said the leopard, yellow with brown spots, that's China and India. Basically China, or the Chinese rim. Vietnam, Korea, the whole ball of wax. Okay. And the brown spots, right, is yellow with brown, the leopard's yellow with brown spots. The brown spots represent India or Asia, that area. So they're going to be united, as it tells you in the angel. And they're going to attack America. Now, this will happen after the war in the Middle East that's imminent. Once that war in the Middle East takes place and America falls to Israel and Britain is taken down, they no longer exist, right? At least false Israel no longer exists. That's going to cause a total mental collapse, because that's going to destroy the foundation of this vision that's currently the world is operating on. Because false Israel, according to them, cannot be destroyed, because they're claiming and they're the true seed of Abraham, which they're not. Anyway, once that war takes place and false Israel is eliminated, and America and Britain is defeated and kicked out of the Middle East, that's the war of the dragon, right? So the dragon and his angels made war. Michael and his angels made war with the dragon and his angels. Michael is the 10th Imam of the Shia, which is Master Farad Muhammad. He's the 10th Imam, the one they're awaiting. That's their Mahdi. Okay, they're his angels. They're about to go to war in the Middle East, a war that everyone expects them to lose. At least expect the Shia to lose. They don't know that Master Farad Muhammad will be backing them. That's those so-called UFOs that you see, that they're now admitting that they exist. They exist there. Why? Why are they there? See. Anyway, so they're going to war with the dragon and its angels. Now the dragon is House of Sod. Why I call it dragon? Because the dragon fuels America, Britain, and false Israel. Without that oil, they get cheap oil and steady flow of cheap oil from them. They would not be as powerful as they are. See. And they ship oil directly to America, but America feeds the other ones. And America is the most powerful, at least that's what they think, the most powerful country on the planet, because they have more energy, right? They get this cheap flow of energy, and in return, they guarantee the House of Sod's seat on the throne. That's the agreement they made. See? So we're not going to talk about all that right now. So that's the dragon and its angels. So that's what it says. That war is about to take place. War broke out in heaven. Heaven is the Middle East. That's about war is about to take place. But when that war takes place, and that false Israel is taken out, that's the abomination of desolation. That's going to shake up the whole world. And shake up the entire world. Shock waves will reverberate all around the planet, right? Because it's going to bring down the vision this world is relying on right now, the foundation of it. But immediately after that, right, because they're shaken up. Immediately after that, they're going to be attacked. America will be attacked by the goat. See, and it says the goat represents China and India because the goat had 4 heads and 4 wings. The wings represent democracies. Head represents authoritarian. So China's authoritarian, but India is supposed to be democracy. And to complete that, I said there are 10 toes. That's 8 toes right there. 8 heads, 4 heads, 4 wings, and then the 2 additional wings of the eagle, which is American Britain. There's 2 other. That's democracy. So you got that's completes the whole thing. So that's 10 toes. So that's the kingdom that's going to be destroyed by this little stone that comes out of the mountain. And the mountain is a statue because it said it comes out of the mountain with no hands, right? Well, they think that's kind of mountain, and they're trying to get that confused. Well, no hands. I mean, they say it's God, but God has hands, right? So then they add something to it it's not supposed to. Well, human hands. That's not in the scripture. Because if you study the statue anatomically, it's totally correct. It doesn't have any hands. So that's the gold that comes out of the head. That's the head of the statue. That's the gold. That's the remnant. That tree that was cut down. That's the remnant. That's going to come out and destroy all these kingdoms. See, that's Suleiman and his 144,000. Going to destroy them all. And then it's going to grow and cover the whole earth. A kingdom that will never be destroyed. But let's get back to that goat again. So he said, well, how in the world is the goat the leper? I said, Daniel very subtle. Okay. Now the goat had 1 horn. It had 1 horn between his eyes. What was his eyes? Well, it's chapter 17 tell you his eyes because it says the 10 horns of the 10 horns in chapter 17 of the angel or the Revelation, that's also China and India. Right? And it says, God put in their hearts to take down the harlot. Put in their hearts to do it. He put in their hearts and minds to do it. So he's guiding them to do it. Because that's what he's going to use, right? To tear his country, to wipe it, to finish it off. That's what he's going to use. And America's not going to be able to use their nuclear weapons. Because that's what Master Muhammad is doing right now. He's neutralizing America's nuclear weapons. When they go to pull that trigger, they're going to get blanks. There's not going to be a nuclear war. At least not to destroy the planet. There's going to be some nuclear bombs dropped, but it's not going to be a full-fledged nuclear war. Not going to be. That's why it's not going to let it happen. Because they would let it happen. They have a scorched earth policy. In other words, if they can't have this earth, they'll scorch it. We won't have it. At least we won't be able to inhabit it for thousands and thousands of years. Because that would happen if they had a full-fledged nuclear war. They're not going to have it. That's why you say these so-called UFOs. They say America says. They're all around their nuclear sites. Why do you think? For no reason? When America goes to pull that trigger, it's going to fall blanks. See? But when they go to that war in the Middle East, immediately they're going to be a war with China and India. China and India, right? And North Korea, all of that area. Oriental countries, plus Asia. Because they're going to invade. They're going to invade America. Because it said they're going to be very angry. It said the goat will be very angry. See, he said it will come with shoulder. Read it up. He says he'll be very angry when he comes after that ram. So ram had 2 horns. That's written in America. See, they came out of the east, right? Pusher said no one could stop them. They were so powerful. That's Gog and Magog. No one could stop them. See, that's Gog and Magog that came out of dark ages. What you see in chapter 20, they was thrown into the bottomless pit. That's what it's talking about, dark ages. That's not something happening in the future. That has already happened. That 1,000-year period has already happened because that's the period that Islam rose and put them into the dark. That's where there was one resurrection. That was Prophet Muhammad's resurrection that locked them up in the pit for 1,000 years. That's the story about that. We're not going to go into detail with that. But said when they come out, they'll go out and cover the whole world. That's what Gog and Magog did. See, America and Britain. Because they didn't even know it was a whole planet. They would deceive everybody. One of the ways they deceive about the time. See, the timing. They make everybody think that's in the future, and what's in the future was in the past, and what's past in the future, everybody all confused. See, so you think a lot of stuff, you think Exodus is in the past, no, it's happening right now. You think the millennia is in the future, it's already past. See, so they confuse the whole thing. And they operating off the sealed Bible. But it says Suleiman would break the seals and reveal the actual truth, which would blow away this reality, this vision. But let's go back to that goat again. See, the goat had that 1 horn. So you say, well, how is that? Well, see, the thing is, when you go and look at that, it says after that, it said the horn was broken. I said it's down very slow. It said the horn was broken into four parts, right? And four parts to the four winds of heaven. That's 8. Remember, the number 8 is associated with the leopard, and now associated with that horn. That's one way of connecting it back, right? See, so the leopard and the goat is same. But see, another connection there is that it said this bear, he had 3 ribs in his mouth, and it plucked them up by the roots, right? And said, well, it's talked about 2 places. It said, he had 3 ribs in his mouth, devoured much flesh. Then another place it says that was a little horn that plucked up 3 horns by the root, and they think that he's plucked up 3 of the 10 horns. But go back to the subtlety. That's the whole thing about trying to get you familiar with the subtleties of Daniel. No, he's talking about the ram and the goat. Because all together have 3 horns. He says he's going to pluck them up by the roots. See? So what does that mean? He said, well, you thought you told the goat was going to knock out the ram. Yes, but chapter 17 says that the I'm getting some issues with Facebook here. Okay, we're going to wrap this up real quick. It says that Africa will be broken up into two groups, right? Non-Islamic Africa is going to be with India and China. See, they're going to be together. They're going to be all together. Okay, so in that sense, right? Because they're going to pluck up the ram by the roots. See, in that sense, they pluck up the ram by the roots. Okay, I'm getting some issues here with I'm not sure what this means, so I'm gonna have to find what that means. I'm getting some issues here with my live streaming. Okay, anyway, so he's part of that, plug up the ram by his roots, because that's it's going right. But it says after that, they're going to get to fighting Africa, non-Islamic Africa, China, and they're going to fight amongst themselves. And he's going to defeat them. See? This bear, that's the bear they're talking about. He's going to defeat them. So that's why I mean plucked up 3 by the roots. See? And then he's defeated by the lion or that little stone. See, they go into contact. The bear and the lion's gonna come in, gonna go at it, and the lion's gonna defeat the bear. So I just thought I'd point that out to you. Just a little, but they're going to war. China's going to war with America. America's gonna be invaded this year. It's gonna be invaded this year. This year's not over yet. The war in the Middle East is gonna take place. Once this takes place, and they're defeated, then they immediately go to war with China and India, and that's gonna invade, going to tear this country apart totally. Right? It says it's going to break, it's going to stump that ram to the ground, right? It's going to take and destroy this country. It's going to eat its flesh, right? That means it's going to take everything of value and all the healthy people, right? It's going to take them into slavery, into captivity, and it's going to burn this place down. So, you time travelers, you better keep up. You better keep what Suleiman, Master Muhammad, because they're creating time. That's what time is all about. Take energy, formless energy, and giving it form. And so we move, we create it hereafter. And if you're not with us, you're still behind here when this country goes down, because you're playing the right time. I got Mr. Black Man, right? And I got the crown, I got stuff. You still be back here, then you're going to be here when it can be destroyed. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm trying to wake you up. Assalamu alaikum.